Morgan from Victoria here, and today's the 20th of August. Today I have a statement and a couple of questions for our Prime Minister. Now, ScoMo, if you're listening, first of all, I'd like to commend you on your recent trade talks with Europe, the UK and India. I think most Australians would agree that our economy is in desperate need of diversification and in desperate need of lessening our dependence on China. Now, ScoMo, over the past couple of days, you've made some statements regarding mandatory COVID-19 vaccines that have created a lot of fear and a lot of confusion throughout the country. Now, 2 days ago on Channel 9's Today Show with Karl Stefanovic, you said, and I quote, I've got it here as to not take you out of context, "We'll be ensuring that every single Australian can get a vaccine." Now, that to me seems like a reasonable statement and one that implies that those who want to get vaccinated can, and those who do not want to don't have to. The next morning, however, on Neil Mitchell's show on 3RW, you said regarding mandatory COVID-19 vaccines, and I quote, "I would expect it to be as mandatory as you can possibly make it." And later on that day on your Facebook page, you made a post, and I quote, "The government does not make vaccinations compulsory. We cannot force vaccinations on any Australian." Now, Mr. Prime Minister, with all due respect, you're sending mixed messages, and these mixed messages have created a lot of fear and a lot of confusion. So I have a couple of questions for you to help set the record straight and to help put this confusion and fear to rest. Question number one is quite simply, will the COVID-19 vaccine be mandatory and enforceable by law? Question number two is, if the COVID-19 vaccine is not mandatory, will those who refuse to take it be punished or penalised in any way, shape or form? I'm talking about things such as having their travel, whether it's around Australia or international travel, restricted, or having access to public and private services restricted, things like education and health. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video and to hear out these concerns. And I trust that you will set the record straight and put these concerns to rest. Thank you. Morgan from Victoria.
Some good news now with the announcement of a deal with the UK to ensure Australians are among the first in the world to receive the Oxford University vaccine that you mentioned. How will it work? How far away is it?
Well, we expect late this year, early next year. It all depends on the latter stage trials that are underway. We'll be manufacturing it here in Australia. We'll be ensuring that every single Australian can get a vaccine.
Now, the vaccine, key question to underpin it before you get to the detail, would you be prepared to make it vaccination mandatory?
Well, certainly, we've got to get about 95%, and so we'd be applying that is, well, I'll take medical advice, that's the obvious answer to that, Neil, but that's what I would be expecting.
You would expect it to be mandatory?
I would expect it to be as mandatory as you can possibly make it. There are always exemptions for any vaccine on medical grounds, but that should be the only basis.